Fans are dissing Savannah Chrisley as she begs for prayers. Savannah is trying to get to the White House to get her parents pardoned. However, she is asking for prayers in the process. Fans do not like what she is doing or how she is acting, so they throw major shade. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Savannah Chrisley is going to the White House for lunch. This is where she is going to try and get in with the important people. They will help her get her parents pardoned from prison. This is something Savannah is ecstatic about. This could potentially be the stepping stone she needs to get her parents released. However, most people do not want to see the Chrisleys out of jail. While there are some supporters who would like to see them home, a majority think they need to stay in prison for what they did. They are currently serving sentences for tax evasion and fraud, though they have never admitted to doing anything wrong in the situation. Savannah has been trying to get them released since they were arrested. Fans dissed the reality TV star when she asked for prayers. There was a snowstorm that affected a lot of the United States. However, Savannah has to get to lunch at the White House, so she asked for prayers. Fans were not happy. She did not get the feedback she would have hoped for. It seems as though fans do not think the Chrisleys should be pardoned. There are a lot of people who think they did wrong and do not deserve to be out of prison. However, there are supporters who would like to see the Chrisleys out of prison. Fans diss as Savannah Chrisley begs for prayer. A story of public scrutiny and struggling fame, Savannah Chrisley has always been a household name to many, thanks to her prominent role on the reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best. As the eldest daughter of millionaire real estate mogul Todd Chrisley, Savannah's life has been no stranger to the spotlight. While the Chrisley family has often made headlines for their over-the-top lifestyle and drama-filled antics, Savannah's life took a different turn recently as she found herself grappling with both personal and public challenges. What followed was a mixture of vulnerability and criticism, as Savannah Chrisley, in an emotional moment, turned to her fans for support, only to receive a wave of online backlash. The moment of desperation in an Instagram post that seemed to open a window into her soul, Savannah Chrisley shared a heartfelt plea with her followers. Amid an ongoing period of personal upheaval, she begged for prayers. "I need prayers right now, more than ever," she wrote. "I'm going through some really hard things, and I just need God's peace and strength to get me through this time." It was an admission of struggle from someone who had often presented a seemingly perfect life. For anyone familiar with Savannah's public persona, it may have been a rare moment of raw honesty. She had long been known for her glamorous lifestyle, with a carefully curated Instagram feed showcasing her beauty, fashion, and expensive lifestyle. Yet, this post marked a departure from her usual public image of perfection and poise. The message was raw, real, and human, qualities often in short supply in the curated world of social media influencers and reality stars. The post quickly garnered attention from fans and critics alike. While some expressed their sympathy, offering kind words and messages of support, others took the opportunity to criticize Savannah for what they saw as a cry for attention rather than a genuine need for help. The backlash within hours. A segment of Savannah's fanbase seemed to flip from empathy to condemnation. Social media users flooded the comment sections, questioning the sincerity of her plea. "Really? You're asking for prayers after all the drama with your family?" One user commented, referring to the multiple legal troubles surrounding the Chrisley family. "Maybe you should just focus on paying your bills rather than seeking attention." Another user chimed in, pointing to the Chrisleys' financial controversies. Fans who had once adored Savannah now expressed frustration. Some noted the contrast between her public image and the message in her post. "It seems like you're always in a crisis, Savannah." One comment read, "This looks more like a PR stunt than a real need for prayer. You should be handling your business instead of asking for sympathy." Savannah had, after all, spent the last few years in the public eye dealing with her father's legal battles, her parents' ongoing marital woes, and her own personal struggles. At the center of it all, the Chrisley family had found itself in the midst of a significant scandal, with Todd and Julie Chrisley facing federal charges for tax evasion. As their legal troubles unfolded, Savannah found herself thrust into an adult role much faster than many of her
Managing
peers
her career
and her family's business, while also trying to stay true to her faith and image. Yet, for some fans, her past missteps had made it hard to accept her vulnerability. Why should we pray for you when you've been living a lavish lifestyle without much care for the consequences of your actions? One follower argued. This sentiment echoed a larger frustration that seemed to have grown around the Chrisley family in general. What had once been seen as entertaining reality TV drama had slowly morphed into a spectacle of financial mismanagement and family dysfunction. The trust many fans had placed in Savannah and her family began to wane. The weight of privilege, the backlash against Savannah, also reflected the complexity of the relationship between public figures and their fans. Many of Savannah's followers had, at some point, idolized her. They saw her as a symbol of success, beauty, and faith. However, this idealized version of Savannah had never accounted for the darker realities of her life. With millions of dollars in the bank and a spotlight that never dimmed, some fans struggled to reconcile the image of a privileged, wealthy influencer with someone asking for prayer. For many, the expectation was simple. A celebrity like Savannah should be able to handle their problems behind closed doors. Her request for prayer struck some as a vulnerability that was not fitting for someone of her status. You live in a mansion, drive luxury cars, and have millions of followers. Why do you need prayers when you're clearly living a better life than most of us? A critic wrote. This criticism isn't unique to Savannah. In fact, many public figures, especially those who come from wealth and fame, have faced similar criticism when they publicly display vulnerability or struggle. There's an underlying assumption that success, wealth, and popularity should somehow shield people from hardship. Yet when those who seemingly have it all publicly acknowledge their struggles, it can seem disingenuous to those who perceive them as out of touch with reality. Savannah's privileged background made her an easy target for such comments. The public sees her as someone who has been given opportunities that many could only dream of. And the idea that she would need prayers seemed to some as a reflection of the larger issue with her privileged life. It wasn't just the request for prayers. It was the perceived gap between her real-life problems and the luxury she displayed. The realities of mental health and celebrity culture. What the public often fails to understand is that even though Savannah Chrisley has the fame and fortune that many crave, she's still a human being. She still experiences the pressures of mental health struggles, family drama, and personal demons. The emotional toll of constantly being under the public eye can create an internal war that no amount of money or success can shield someone from. In many ways, Savannah's plea for prayers could be seen as a reflection of a larger conversation about the mental health struggles that many celebrities face. Behind the glitz and glamour of her life, Savannah was struggling just like many others who don't have the privilege of constant media attention. She was simply expressing what many people go through, feeling lost, seeking help, and hoping for a sense of peace. But because of her celebrity status, her cry for help became more of a spectacle than a simple act of self-care. In an age where everyone's life is publicized on social media, the emotional vulnerability of public figures is often met with scorn rather than understanding. Fans and followers, who feel connected to these celebrities through shared interests or admiration, may have a skewed view of what the stars are experiencing. They might see only the curated Instagram posts, the perfectly styled outfits, and the seemingly flawless vacations. They don't see the sleepless nights, the anxiety, or the overwhelming pressures of constantly being in the public eye. Savannah Chrisley, like many others, is a person who struggles, but because of her fame and privilege, her struggles are often under a microscope, criticized by those who may feel disconnected from the realities of her life. The power of prayer. A dual-edged sword. The request for prayer is one that has its own complexities. To some, it is a genuine call for help, a means of finding peace and strength through faith. But to others, it may come across as a form of passive pleading, a way of garnering sympathy from followers who feel they know the person behind the screen. For Savannah, It seemed like a simple request for support, an acknowledgement that even those in positions of privilege need help sometimes. However, for some followers, it was the final straw in a series of perceived missteps, a sign that the person they had once admired had become just another celebrity using social media for personal gain.